Welcome to the Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting of Tuesday, February the 12th, 2013. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Here.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Simon. My understanding Ms. Simon is absent this evening. Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Brady.
Here.
Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
And Ms. Conley.
Here.
There is a quorum.
I'd like to make a motion to mark Ms. Simon's absence as excused.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Please mark Ms. Simon as excused, and we anticipate Mr. Jones will be here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On this February the 12th, we mark the 204th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president. On April the 15th, we will mark the 148th anniversary of his death. Lincoln was sworn in for his second term as president on March the 4th, 1865, by Ohioan Salmon P. Chase, who was one of 10 Ohioans to serve as justices of the United States Supreme Court. Chase was the first of 3 Ohioans to serve as Chief Justice. Nearing the end of the Civil War, Lincoln said the following in his second inaugural address, and I use his words this evening for this evening's moment of silence. With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the light as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which we may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and all nations. All right, moving on to item 5. Has anyone signed in for public comment related to the agenda?
Madam Chair, no one has signed in to speak.
Item 6, the minutes of the meeting for January 22nd are in your packet. If you've had an opportunity to review those minutes, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes as circulated.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Brady. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 14 of the agenda will move to the end of the agenda. It's matters that we will deal with in executive session. And I have one other announcement, that our Plain Dealer reporter, Laura Johnston, has had her baby, and what I understand is a girl whose name is Lane, and we offer her our congratulations. And since we all want to hear the State of the Union address this evening, we'll call on Mr. Fitzgerald for his remarks.
Is that a hint to be short?
I would never make such a hint to you, Mr.
I had a
Fitzgerald.
long list of things to read, but no, speaking of speeches not as important as State of the Union or anywhere close, a week from today will be the State of the County. I just want to again invite council to be at noon, and the City Club is hosting us again. And I am going to try to give council leadership anyway a little bit of a preview about what we'll be talking about, but we have a very good story to tell. And I hope, again, I made this offer before to council in previous years. I'll just do it again. If there are things that you would like me to include in particular, you certainly can and do speak for yourselves, but if there are things that you believe that it's particularly important for me to include, I will try to do so, so you can give me any suggestions. I would say that just the attendance of it, I think, is a nice indication of how important county government and how central county government has become. because we're close to 1,000 attendees. Just a few years ago, when the county commissioners would give the president of the board of commissioners would give their annual State of the County address, it'd usually be under 100, 75, 80 folks. So just that, I think, as a statement, showing how involved we're becoming in public policy in the county. I think that's a good sign. So I will look forward, I hope, to seeing you all there at that time. And that's it for my comments, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, consideration of motions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Madam Chair, if I may call the roll for Councilman Jones.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones, for joining
Here.
us this evening.
Motion number 2013-0003, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of individuals to serve on the Tax Incentive Review Councils and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective, as printed on the agenda, item 9A, 1 through 4.
This matter will be referred to the Human Resource Committee.
Motion number 2013-0004, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of James R. Woolley to serve on the Cuyahoga County Public Defender Commission and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Go to Human Resources.
Motion number 2013-0005, a motion confirming the county executive's reappointment of various mayors to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective for the mayors as printed on the agenda, items C1 and 2.
Human Resource Commission.
Motion number 2013-0006, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of various individuals to serve on the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective. Madam Chair, item number 3, the appointment of Susan Grozick has been withdrawn at the request of the administration, and the resolution will be amended in the committee.
Okay, I don't see that name. Which item are you referring to? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said another name. Okay. All right, it'll be amended in the committee? Yes. All right. And that'll go to Human Resource.
Motion number 2013. Motion number 2013-0007, a motion appointing Tracy A. Jemison II to serve on the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument Board of Trustees and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
And this matter will also go to Human Resources. You have a lot of work, Ms. Conwell. So she'll be setting a meeting for those forthwith. All right. Item 10, committee reports and consideration of a resolution for second reading.
Resolution number 2012-0241, a resolution requesting the Ohio General Assembly to make physical assault on public transit workers a felony under Ohio law and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. Madam Chair, this item will then move to the February 26th council meeting for third reading consideration.
There's no action to be taken this evening. It has been to Public Works Committee, I believe? Public Safety, I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right, item 11, consideration of an ordinance for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2013-0005, an ordinance establishing a reserve policy for the loan forgiveness portion of loans supported by the Economic Development Fund and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This matter overlaps budget and finance and also economic development. So I've talked to Mr. Schron and Mr. Miller, and we're going to resend this and the following item to a joint committee of economic development and finance and budget.
Ordinance number 2013-0006, an ordinance establishing a reserve policy for doubtful debt for loans supported by the Economic Development Fund and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
And this will go to economic development and finance and budget, so it'll be a joint hearing. Item 12, committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance number 2013-0001, an ordinance establishing general provisions for the Cuyahoga County Code and authorizing the Clerk of Council to officially publish the Cuyahoga County Code as approved by the county's Director of Law and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective. Madam Chair, as this is the second reading, this item will move for consideration on Council's February 26th meeting agenda.
All right, no, so there's no action to be taken on this. Item 13, consideration of resolutions for first reading, adoption under suspension of the rules. Now, ordinarily, I just routinely ask for a suspension of the rules for 9A, 12A, and 9D. But before we do that, I'd just like a quick explanation on why we need to suspend the rules on the second item B, 0022. Is somebody from the Finance Department can explain that?
Are you referring to 2013-0222?
I have it as 0022.
0022.
Right.
Okay. The Office of Homeless Services anticipated that Cuyahoga County would be awarded federal emergency solutions grant funding through agreements with several entities, but was uncertain about the exact dollar amount of those awards. This resulted in our issuing an RFP for providing the ESG-funded activities with an estimated total award amount. At the time that the award recommendation were made to County Council in October, the full amount of the funds awarded was still not confirmed. In late November, the Office of Homeless Services was notified that the state award amount was higher than we had estimated. So this amendment reflects this increase in funds to the award recommendation, and then adding that increase to the contract for Emerald Development, which will increase the funding available for rapid rehousing activities.
Well, you're giving the reason for it, but so it's time sensitive, it has to be done?
Yes, we're asking that this be approved tonight because services are being provided through the contracts already.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, then let's go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go back ahead, and so I'll entertain a motion pursuant to Rules 9D and 12A to suspend the rules. Mr. Gallagher?
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules. Second.
A moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jimana. Any discussion on that? That's why I asked for the explanation. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. So let's go ahead to the first item, 0021.
Resolution number 2013-0021, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2013 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Jimana. And I believe Mr. Miller has a motion.
Madam President and my colleagues, most of what's in this resolution deals with the routine appropriation of grant money and transfers of funds, but there is an item proposing to transfer $5 million from the general fund to the Western Reserve Fund as a guarantee of loans that would be made through the local banks, and we would like to have a further discussion on this item. So I would move to amend the resolution by removing that one item and then ask that be further discussed in committee.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Greenspan to amend the item to remove item L. It's actually on page 91 of your agenda. Is there any discussion on that? And then this matter would be referred to a committee if the amendment is adopted. All right. All right. All those in favor of the amendment indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The ayes have it. The resolution is amended. So let's go ahead and vote on the item. Well, I can go ahead and this item L then we're taking out. I'm going to refer that to the the Economic Development and Finance and Budget Committee. So it'll be heard at the next joint committee meeting. Any discussion on the other items for item 0021? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. To the
Aye.
amended. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it as to the amended resolution, and as I said, the other matter will go to committee. Now, item 0022, we had an explanation from Ms. Gillette, and I got it read. Jean, we haven't read 0022.
Sorry,
That's okay.
figuring out what was beeping. Resolution number 2013-0022, a resolution amending resolution number 2012-0222, dated October 23, 2012, which made awards on requisition number 24301 to various providers for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program for the period October 1, 2012 through December 31, 2013, to change the total amount not to exceed from $2,401,782 to $2,581,259, and to change the award amount to Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated from $869,832 to $1,049,309, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Schrein and seconded by Ms. Conwell. We had an explanation from Ms. Gillette. Are there any other questions or any other explanation that we need on this item? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 14 will move to the end of the agenda for executive session. So we'll move on to item 15, consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2013-0026, a resolution making an award on requisition number 25869 to Perk Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $4,049,718.40 for resurfacing Ontario Street from Lakeside Avenue to approximately 900 feet north of Carnegie Avenue and East 9th Street, from North Marginal Road to Carnegie Avenue in the city of Cleveland, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $4,049,718.40 to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Let's go to Public Works.
Resolution number 2013-0027, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1200-357 with Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Ohio for group health care benefits for county employees and their eligible dependents for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012, to exercise an option to extend the time period to December 31, 2013, and for additional funds in the amount of $8,694,139.68, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Go to Human Resources.
Resolution number 2013-0028, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1200-104 with Sun Life Assurance Company of Canada for stop-loss insurance services for county employees and their eligible dependents for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012, to exercise an option to extend the time period to December 31, 2013, and for additional funds in the amount of $2,483,239.92, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Now go to Human Resources.
Resolution number 2013-0029, a resolution making an award on requisition number 25888 to Sadler Niekamp Financial Services Incorporated, doing business as ProWare, in the amount of $1,027,068 for maintenance and support services for the court case management system for probate court for the period January 1, 2013 through January 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This item will go to Public Safety and Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2013-0030, a resolution making an award on requisition number 25340 to Sadler Niekamp Financial Services Incorporated, doing business as ProWare, in the amount of $1,866,080 for maintenance and support services for the court case management system for a domestic relations court for the period January 1, 2013 through January 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Now go to Public Safety and Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2013-0031, a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Metro Health System in the amount not to exceed $1 million for various jail medical services at the Cuyahoga County Correction Center for the period March 16, 2013 through December 31, 2013, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to Public Safety, Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2013-0032, a resolution supporting the submission of applications on behalf of Cuyahoga County for fifth-round funding under the Local Government Innovation Fund available through the State of Ohio Development Services Agency, authorizing the county executive and department directors to take all steps necessary in furtherance of this goal, including entering into partnership initiatives, memoranda of understanding with any other potential partners, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to Council Operations. Item 16, Committee Reports and Consideration of a Resolution for Second Reading.
Resolution number 2013-0015, a resolution making an award on requisition number 24707 to the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America in the amount not to exceed $12,300,000 for dental group health care benefits for county employees and their dependents for the period January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2015. Authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. Madam Chair, this item will be moved for consideration for third reading for the February 26th council agenda.
All right, item 17, Committee Reports and Consideration of Resolutions for Second Reading Adoption under Suspension of the Rules. Items A through G have all been to committee, and it seemed that the committees have said they need no further consideration. So if we could have a motion to suspend Rule 9D, which would waive the third reading, we can proceed. Mr. Gallagher?
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules. Second.
Moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jemana. Any discussion? All's in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0250.
Resolution number 2012-0250, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1200-241 with Caremark PCS Health for group health care benefits for county employees and their eligible dependents, including pharmacy benefit management services, for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2014, for additional funds in the amount of $3,500,000, and authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution.
Second.
All right, moved by Mr. Rogers and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay. All right, all's in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. 0014.
Resolution number 2013-0014, a resolution making an award on requisition number 25617 to Carvo Paving Company in the amount not to exceed $1,547,652 for resurfacing Taylor Road from Euclid Avenue to East Cleveland South Corporation Line in the city of East Cleveland, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in the amount of $1,238,121.60 to fund said contract.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion on this item?
Madam President,
Jones.
this resolution awards $1.5 million for the resurfacing of Taylor Road in East Cleveland. There were 12 interested contractors who pulled proposals, of which 7 submitted bids for review. Carville Paving was awarded the contract as the lowest qualified bidder, and Carville Paving came in roughly $200,000 below our county engineer's estimated cost of $1.7 million. Carville Paving exceeded our 30% SBE goal that was attached to this contract. The project should take approximately 5 months, starting this April, ending in October. The funding was 80% from the county's $7.50 motor vehicle license fund and 20% from OPWC Commission Issue 1 state dollars. No local municipality dollars were required. And this project is just another example of our new pavement policy, which benefits local municipalities by eliminating their 20% participation. And I recommend this resolution for passage to my colleagues under second reading suspension.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other discussion?
President, can I be added as a co-sponsor?
Please add Mr. Rogers. All right, there being no further discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0016.
Resolution number 2013-0016, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources and for appropriation transfers between budget accounts in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies related to year-end closeout activities in accordance with resolution number 2012-0228.
Adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this?
Madam President,
Mr. Miller.
to my colleagues, this item ratifies the year-end budget adjustments that we authorize at the end of each year to be done by Budget and Management. And it was discussed in committee, and in particular, we reviewed the operating costs for the new Juvenile Justice Center and the space cost allocation system. The earlier estimate of Juvenile Justice Center operating costs was too low given the amount of square footage in the facility. However, the actual operating cost per square foot is similar to what we experienced in other buildings. I would like to offer an amendment. It's the amendment that's been distributed as a separate sheet, and it's a number of minor technical corrections that were requested by the Director of Budget and Management. Most of them involve only the change of index code numbers, but there is an item which needed to be amended from $78,000 to $92,000 for the transfer in the centralized custodial services. So I move the amendment and ask for its approval.
All right, on the amendment, it's been moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Germana. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, all those in favor of the amendment indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is so amended. All right, any discussion on the amended resolution on the merits? All right, no further discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0017.
Resolution number 2013-0017, a resolution approving the appropriation of funds for year 2013 based on the statement of appropriation status dated December 31st, 2012 for the items as printed on the agenda D1 through 3.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Germana. Any discussion on this item?
Madam President,
Mr. Miller.
to my colleagues, we're only able to appropriate for a year at a time, but the county does many things that extend over a multi-year length of time, and so this simply appropriates the money that for whatever has not been completed as of the end of 2012 and moves it into 2013. And it's a routine resolution that we pass every year. So I ask for your approval.
All right, any other questions, discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0018.
Resolution number 2013-0018, a resolution making an award on requisition number 22383 to MHS Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,148,293 for emergency shelter services for homeless women and families located at 2227 Payne Avenue, Cleveland.
Move approval.
I'm sorry, I just had a cough, excuse
She's
me.
still reading.
For the period
I thought she was finished.
For the period January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2013, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Approval.
Second.
Was that Mr. Brady? Yes. Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. All right, any discussion on this bifurcated item?
Madam Chairperson, this resolution approves a contract with Mental Health Services to provide 24/7 operations and staffing for the county's emergency shelter for homeless women, 100% Health and Human Service.
Any other discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0019.
Resolution number 2013-0019, a resolution making an award on requisition number 22383 to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount of $1,654,920 for emergency shelter services for homeless men located at 2100 Lakeside Avenue, Cleveland, for the period January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2013, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on this item?
Madam Chairperson, this resolution approves a contract with Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry to provide 24/7 management at the county's emergency shelter for homeless men at 2100 Lakeside. 100% Health and Human Service levy money.
All right, any questions, discussions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. 0020.
Resolution number 2013-0020, a resolution making awards on requisition number 25318 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $2,400,000 for child and family-focused services for the period February 1, 2013 through January 31, 2015, and authorizing the county executive to execute the contracts and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution for the providers and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda, items G1 through 10.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on these items?
Chairperson, this resolution will allow the Division of Children and Family Services selected providers to offer in-home services to families in crisis with the goal of eliminating incidents of abuse and neglect of children. Again, 100% Health and Human Service funding.
All right, any discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 18, moving right along. Consideration of an ordinance for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2013-0007, an ordinance establishing the Cuyahoga County-wide inspection program, authorizing the county executive to execute agreements with participating municipalities and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This matter referred to Public Works. All right, item 19, committee, miscellaneous committee report. Are there any miscellaneous committee reports starting down this end?
Madam President, thank you. The next meeting of the Collaboration Council Operations Committee will be Tuesday, the 19th at 3 p.m. after the State of the County address. To address this, we will be discussing the single item that was presented tonight on tonight's agenda, and I would envision the meeting lasting no longer than 15 minutes.
Mr. Miller?
Madam President and my colleagues, the next meeting of Finance and Budget is scheduled for Tuesday, the 19th at 3:15 p.m., but the only items that we have on the agenda are the items we're hearing jointly with Economic Development, so we may or may not meet at that time following my conversation with Chairman Schron to work out what time we want to have our joint meeting.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kama?
Yes, Madam Chair, I did have a question on, from Councilman Greenspan. When did you say your meeting was?
3 o'clock on the 19th.
Okay, I thought public safety changed or switched. I know, but I thought they switched days, so I just want to be clear.
We didn't. And thank you for bringing that up. However, this is an item that we need a second reading suspension, and the following Monday, our new committee time is on President's Day. So this is the next available time for us to meet before the next council meeting.
Okay, so I guess my question would be to Mr. Gallagher. Are you having
Well,
public
actually,
safety?
Mr. Germana got skipped over, and I did too.
Oh, sorry.
But we'll come back to that.
No, go right ahead. I'll wait my turn.
Okay, Mr. Jermaine, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam
You're
Chair.
looking that way, I figured.
I just wanted to report that Councilman Rogers and I spent last Friday at a NOACA board meeting and retreat, something that hasn't been done in a long time, I guess decades, where we spent the day on planning the one 4-year and long-range plans for the NOAC board. And this was the time where Jolene Rogers became the primary and I became the alternate on the NOAC board. So it was a very, very good brainstorming meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Jermaine. Mr. Gallagher?
Thank you, Madam President. And I would like to thank Mr. Greenspan and his committee to switch times as to not be perceived as a hard-headed Irishman, Mr. Executive. The Public Safety and Justice Committee has moved and swapped with Mr. Greenspan because there was a conflict and our need, actually, to have directors at our meeting. And we will skip the next one, which will be the executive's discussion with 1,000 people at $65 a head. And we will go to the next day, the next Tuesday. So we're 2 Tuesdays out at 1 o'clock, and hope all will be there and we can have a great discussion on what we heard the previous Tuesday.
Yes, any other items?
Yes, Madam Chair, the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee will meet on February 19th. That's the Tuesday. We're meeting before the State of the County address, so the time will be moved up to 9. So it'll be from 9 to 11.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
Madam President? The Public Works Committee meeting will take place tomorrow and a meeting on the 20th also, the 13th and the 20th. Tomorrow we'll have a presentation from Director Tewin to give us a big picture overview of the road and bridge work that has been done over the last year and for this upcoming year. And then on the 20th, we will deal with the items referred to committee today.
I'd just like to say that the county council has granted a day off to all of the employees on Monday, the 18th. So you can thank your county council for that day off. Any other items for miscellaneous business? And any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
No, Madam Chair, none that I'm aware of.
All right, we have a number of items for executive session. Just for the record, our next regular meeting will be for February 26th at 5 o'clock in council chambers. We do need to go into executive session. All meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public under the Ohio Open Meeting Law. Under that law, council may go into executive session during a meeting for specifically authorized purposes. During executive session, council confers outside the hearing of the public. Council may not make any decisions about any matters in executive session. All decisions are made in public. This evening, council will go into executive session regarding collective bargaining matters and pending litigation and imminent litigation. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll? Is there a motion to go into executive session? A move by Mr. Strachan, seconded by Ms. Conwell to go into executive session. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Moving to executive session, Mr. Schron?
Yes.
Ms. Conwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers? Mr. Greenspan? Mr. Miller? Mr. Brady? Mr. Germana? Mr. Gallagher? Ms. Conley?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, we're going to executive session. All those who are not necessary for executive session. And I think we need to take them according to the agenda, so there's going to be some folks that we have to ask out and have come back in. So the first item... Wait, yeah. What? Order's okay? Oh, I'm in council meeting. What's up?
That was a loud noise. I couldn't figure out what that was.